My name is Vyalaja Singh, and in this video I will be discussing the question set 47 of DBMS question sets day 9. So this would be the PDF of question set 47, and this would be the scenario of question set 44. If I explain about it briefly, there's a school called Anabima in Kandy, and principal of that school has decided to requires a software so he can enter information of teachers and students. And my team is tasked with creating the database, and I'm supposed to store teacher and student information, make tables to store subjects that teachers teach and subjects that students learn. Let's see the first question. In the database you created, which means Pranamima SCHDB, you firstly created the table teacher, which is used to store information of teachers who teach grade 9 students in the school. Add a new column called teacher edge to that table. Your team leader has commanded to make it not null. Write the respective DDL query. So once again, as we need to write DDL queries, let's go to our command line client. So using our command line client interface, let's insert our HDSQL password. Now let's choose our database, name of our database. So as you can see, I have selected my database successfully. Let's insert the teacher edge column. So this should be the query relevant to the first question. As we need to add the column, we have to use the command alter this time. So alter table, name of the table is teacher, add column, the name of the new column, the data type, and not null, and it should be not null, and a semicolon to end our query. I have executed this query. As you can see, we have created the table. We have created the new column, which is clear by this highlighted line. Let's see whether it is true. So let's go to our HDSQL and let's check our database, and let's firstly refresh our database and let's check our teacher table. And as you can see, we have our new column teacher edge. Let's move on to the second question. In the teacher table that you have created, enter the following data to the newly added column, which is this one. Write the relevant DDL query. So once again, we have to use this interface in order to enter our information. I have selected my database. In this case, we have to use some update queries, as we need to update the teacher edge number. So this should be the relevant update query. Update teacher, update the table teacher, set this column with this value where this is our condition where the teacher ID is equal to 1, and a semicolon to end our query. Let's execute this. Now let's see whether our first row, whether our the first teacher edge number is being entered. So let's go to HDSQL and let's refresh our interface, AD interface, and as you can see, I have inserted the first teacher edge number using the command line client interface. I will enter the rest as well. So as you can see, I have inserted the rest of the values as well. Let's move on to the third question. In the database you created earlier, a table called student has been created to store the information of students studying in grade 9 in the school. You need to add a new column called student index that created table use a DDL query. So as we need to add a new column, let's use the alter command of DDL. So let's go to our command line command interface, and let's firstly select our database. So as you can see, I have selected my database, and this would be the query relevant to the third question. Alter table, name of our table, student add column, the name of the new column, the data type and the length, and it should be not null, and we have finished it with a semicolon. Let's execute this query. So let's see whether our new column is available in the student table as they have mentioned. Let's firstly refresh our database. Let's check our student table. So as you can see, we have successfully created the student index column. Let's move on to the fourth question. You need to enter the following data in the new student column, student index number. Write the relevant DDL query to enter all data. So similar to the second question, I will be writing a update query. So this should be our first update query relevant to the fourth question. Update table name student, set this column with this new value where our condition is student ID equal to 1 and a semicolon to finish our query. Let's execute it. Let's see whether we have inserted the first student index table. So let's go to our VDSQL and let's refresh our database, and let's check our student table. And as you can see, we have inserted the first student index number. So as you can see, I have inserted the rest as well. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 5. All grade 9 teachers in the school teach one or more subjects, and to store that data, add the following data into the teacher has subject table. Write the relevant DDL queries in order to enter all of the data. So let's go to our command line client interface, and let's type our first insert query of the fifth question. So this would be the first insert query of the fifth question. Insert into the table name the values of that tables, the columns of that table and the respective values of those columns. And we have mentioned the keyword values before those values, and a semicolon to end our query. So let's execute the first insert query. Let's see whether we have inserted the first row of the teacher has subject table. So let's firstly refresh our database. Let's check our teacher has subject table, and as you can see, we have inserted our first row. So as you can see, I have inserted the rest as well. Let's move on to the last question. Question number 6. A table name student has subject has been created to store all subjects studied by grade 9 students, and those Grade 9 students study all major subjects. Um, Create or else write the DDL query needed to store those learning subjects. It is mandatory to write your queries in DDL in order to enter all the data. I think we are supposed to get a Cartesian. So each student study 6 subjects, so there are um, 6 students in total. So one student learns 6 subjects each. So that means we have to get 36 rows. So let's insert the first row. So this should be the first insert query of the 6th question. Insert into the name of the table, student has subject, and the columns of that table, ID, subject ID, student ID. And the next keyword is values, and inside the brackets I have mentioned the respective values of those columns and semicolon in our insert query. Let's execute this query and let's check our student has subject table. Let's refresh our database. Let's check our student has subject table. And as you can see, we have inserted the first row of the student has subject table successfully. So as you can see, I have inserted the rest of the rows as well. It seems like it's a Cartesian, and also that would be the end of the discussion of question set 47 as well. And thank you.